Hello, welcome to the Teaching Test Kitchen. It's a new year, about to begin a new semester, and a lot of people are talking about New Year's resolutions. But for those of us who are lecturers and adjunct professors, the one thing we're working on this year is getting our syllabi in on time. So that's our topic for today. Hi, Mark. Happy New Year.
Hi, Tatiana. Happy New Year to you as well. Glad to be
Thank you.
back.
Absolutely. And our topic, the syllabus, the syllabi. And in my case, it is syllabi because I am teaching multiple courses. I know you actually teach a lot of courses yourself. How many? 5?
5.
Per semester.
Yep.
That's just crazy. Different topic for a different day, but you do have a lot to contribute. And because our schools handle it a little bit differently, but this is the Teaching Test Kitchen. So I do have a food analogy for us to framework this. And I think it's helpful to think of a syllabus like a beautiful and clear menu at a great restaurant, meaning that it's going to help us communicate what we offer in our courses and have it set the tone for a successful semester. And I would also argue that when we can, it allows us to share a little bit about personality and help our students get to know us as well. But I have to be honest with you, I meant to have submitted mine already. So I'm not going to say I'm procrastinating. It's just a very busy time of year. But this episode is going to help me make sure that I get mine submitted. So are you dragging your feet on that a little bit, or are you a little better than me on that?
I haven't even started thinking about my syllabi yet. What are you talking about? We
Okay.
just hit January. I'm going classes don't start till the last week of January. I got plenty of time. I'm good.
All right. Well, at least I'm not alone. There is some comfort in that. But you know what I think about? I know that 80% of students are not going to look at this until the night before class. But there are 20% of students, and of course I'm making these numbers up, but just roughly, that are going to be planning ahead. And I want to make sure that those students feel well taken care of too, and that they have the information, that they don't feel stressed about having everything last minute. So, but I would say it's about 80-20 for me, where it's like most students procrastinate and some students plan ahead.
My university doesn't require us to have a final syllabus posted to Canvas until the first Friday of the first week. So technically I could slide, but I like to get it out ahead of time as early as I even publish my Canvas courses a couple of days before the semester even starts, when at all possible, just so that I can have students come in and start feeling comfortable with the course to kick off the semester strong.
It's true. I'll do the same thing with Canvas. I don't have to wait till I'm fully done with the whole course. I'll publish just the first module or two, so that, again, those students who like to plan ahead can look ahead at least into the first 2 weeks. So I'm totally with you on that. Let's dive into this concept here. So again, thinking of it like a full course menu, what does a full course menu have? Typically there's an appetizer. So for me, that appetizer in terms of a syllabus is something like an engaging introduction, like a hook in a video, just a little taste test of something that lets them know what's this going to be like, or perhaps even just a little bit about our teaching philosophy. So after the appetizer is the main dish. What are we serving here? Which of course are all the required things like the course objectives, the class schedule, the grading, the policy, all of those assessment types of things too. But then I think no dish tastes good without some really good seasoning and flavor, which is the personality that we bring to it. And every university is going to be different. I think every department will be different. I think every course will be different too. So this is just one of those individual things too, like how much of your own personality and spice can you add to the syllabus?
Yeah, I call it the bureaucratic boilerplate.
Okay. That's a good one. Yeah, this is what it has to look like. And I understand why we need that approach, but it just makes the syllabus feel like a legal contract and not so user-friendly and definitely not so welcoming. So I'm trying to find a nice balance between the have-tos and the feeling and setting a great tone for the class. And so that's where I also think somehow infusing a dessert in this menu here too, which of course is something that's sweet and enjoyable, like not just mentioning this is going to happen if you do this. This is the consequence for this, and this is this, and this is that. It's like, hey, here's all these really nice things that happen in the class too. The value that the students are going to get out of it, the content, the skills, like framing it around a positive message. And then Everybody needs a little something to drink to stay hydrated. And so to me, those are the elements that help support students. If they're having trouble, this is what they can do. And then also links or access points to university resources for mental health, for learning centers, for tutoring, for libraries, just different things that are going to help support them. I know students are bombarded with tons of information. They call it syllabus week for a reason. We know we're going to go over the syllabus, but I think you're probably going to agree with me, Mark. Most students don't read the syllabus. I mean, at this point, I think it's probably a meme of like, read the syllabus. It's in the syllabus.
It's in the syllabus, yeah.
Kind of thing.
Once they get past, okay, what book do I need? And any other resources, they jump straight to the schedule and say, okay, what's the first thing that's due? How much do I have to have done in this first week? How much? And then they start planning out their schedules based off of when assignments are due in the syllabi for all their classes and start planning their semester. And they skip over a lot of the other parts of the syllabus because frankly, if it's like my university, it's very boilerplate. They all say the same things for the most part. So they probably just skip over. I have experimented with taking my syllabus and putting it into Perusall and making it a reading assignment in the first week and make them annotate it in order to earn the points. And so I noticed that students have to read the syllabus then because they're looking for places where they can make a comment that is going to be a strong enough comment to score the points that they need in order to get credit for that assignment. So that's worked pretty well. And I've actually been able to update my syllabi a bit because students would ask questions about, oh, I don't quite understand what this means. And so then that's a cue to me as the instructor to go and look at, was I as clear as I possibly could be with the instructions in this section or what I was trying to explain about this assignment style or type or how many points it's worth or whatever? Then I can go back and make adjustments so that eventually, hopefully I'll get to the point where there aren't questions about the syllabus.
And this is an approach I took in the beginning, on the first day of class. I decided to gamify the syllabus. Again, knowing that most students are not going to read the syllabus. I picked the 15 points I want them to remember. Technically, I think it's 14 because I have like a fake question. But what I've done is gamify the syllabus. On the first day, I put students into small groups to help them get to know each other, to start to build a sense of community. And I give them little tiny sheets of paper, have them cut up little tiny sheets of paper. They need 15 small paper squares. And then I ask them questions where the answers would be found in the syllabus. And they get points for every correct answer. Everybody in the team can contribute. So even if one person on the team read the syllabus, but what happens? They start talking about the answers. We're reviewing them. It becomes a bit more engaging because it's a game now. I learned this from Jennifer Gonzalez, who's over at Cult of Pedagogy, and I made a video about this exact thing. The syllabus quiz, crumple, and shoot game. So it's the quiz part. And if they get a correct answer, they take the paper, they crumble it up into a little tiny ball. If they don't get the correct answer, then the paper stays flat. So at the end of that game, however many tiny rolled up sheets of paper they have, they get to shoot them into these 3 different baskets for additional points. And then one team gets the prize, and I'll bring in some type of sweet candy or treat or something like that, right? It doesn't cost me a lot of money. It's a little tiny something to sweeten the deal. So it's like a dessert thing on the first day of class, thrown in there. I know feeding them sugar is probably not the healthiest, but students love treats and candy. So that's the way that I make the syllabus part be a little bit more memorable. And I'm highlighting the points that I really want them to walk away remembering. And for virtual classes, I am searching for a digital shoot game. I can't find one that's free and easily accessible.
I was just thinking about this. Like, how would I do that with my asynchronous students?
So a student last semester gave me a suggestion of like, well, they can still crumple up the answer and shoot it into something in their physical environment. Like it could still be like, show me if you can shoot it into something. So perhaps that's a way, but I am searching for a digital tool to use for that. But that's just a little gamified way that I really like doing that I also enjoy. And again, we're still reviewing the syllabus, but it's a different way that I think. And then that sets the tone for the active learning, the engagement type of stuff that is a standard part of my courses. So next up, now that we've had that chat, I want to show you what my syllabus looks like, Mark. And then Mark, I'll hand the floor to you to show us what your syllabus looks like. My syllabus is a Google Sites website. So Google Sites, free website creator. And this way, digitally, I make an update in Google Sites and it automatically populates on the website. So I have a few different sections: the home section, the calendar section, the assignments and grades section, and then the resources section. So I'm looking at this in a preview mode here. And in the home section, I have a photo of students. So this is this like bit of a welcoming part here in that appetizer section, like, oh, happy smiling students. And it is a photo that I took. Like, these are my real students. It's my photograph. We had a great day, beautiful lighting, the title, and all the relevant information about the course, about myself welcoming students to the class and how they can connect with me. So I'll link my LinkedIn profile, my YouTube page. I share my past student evaluations, the direct link to rate my professors, and my own website, as well as a YouTube playlist that has these tiny snippets of videos from past students giving advice to my current students. I share a little bit about what the class is like, and then a few class pictures that show both in-person and virtual settings, since I do teach the course in both forms. What I did was make my headers questions. So for example, the question is, why should you take this course? And then I try to throw in some of my personality in here, like besides the fact that you may have to, because I know some students have to take this course. It's a requirement if they're a communication major, for example. But I try to speak directly to them, first person, so that it has a bit of a more personal connection to it. Then I'm sharing the content about the book that they'll need for the course, and my policies on academic integrity, plagiarism, and artificial intelligence, which in my classes, AI use is permitted. And so then course details, which a lot of this stuff is required, right? We have to talk about the learning objectives. We have to talk about the learning outcome goals. So that's the home page. Then next section is the calendar. So this is a semester game plan, and this is a Google Sheet that's linked right in here. So I update this Google Sheet, it automatically updates it to the website. Then the next section, and I have that for every course, for every week of the course. Then the graded components. This is all the things that they're submitting for this semester, what points it's worth, what percentage of their grade, and then what the final grades are, how things will be graded in the course. And then the last section that I have is a section of resources. Like, what do I do if I need some help? So the first thing, of course, is they reach out to me, but then I also have all the links from the university on here for things such as disability services, counseling, violence prevention, listening, library resources, the Rutgers Learning Centers, all kinds of things to, I obviously don't expect them to remember all of this, but at least give them a place to look to when they need it. So
and know where to go. Yeah.
Yes. And then obviously this is a website. I am required to submit a paper format of this to my department. So I do submit a PDF version of this, and then I update that semester to semester. So I have the template of that. Then I update both the website and the PDF. But now that I have my template set up, it's very minimal changes semester to semester. So that's the way that I do it. Mark, would you like to show us the way that you do it?
Sure. So, as you said earlier, the way I do mine is quite different than how you have yours. And so mine is very, like I said, bureaucratic boilerplate. And I say that because my syllabus is built off of a template provided by the university that fulfills the university policy statement requirements, that has all the information that I have to include. And I have to, when I get evaluated every 3 years, I have to include a syllabus for every format of the class that I've taught. So I have to have a syllabus for fully online asynchronous, another one for a hybrid, even if it's a hybrid in person or hybrid over Zoom, and then another one for fully in person. I try to keep my classes as similar as possible, but there's information for the asynchronous class that the fully in-person doesn't need, like what's the Zoom link, things of that nature. And so I have to go in and modify those, but it does start with this base template. And so I have, the university says I can put the logo up here, but I have to have what college it's from, the department, the course title, the section numbers. And decided to add a picture because this is a fully asynchronous course because I want them to see what their instructor looks like before they get into the Canvas page. And that's where I put all my get to know me information is in the Canvas page, but not on the syllabus. So I have my contact information. I don't share a phone number because as adjunct, I have an office that I share with a bunch of other folks. So therefore, I don't have an office phone number. But this is all information that has to be included. And then I use Calendly for my scheduling office hours appointments. So I have a link there. And then these are all links to email me. So basically, I give it a written version like mdust@fullerton.edu and then a hyperlink as well. Everything in the syllabus follows the template that the university provides. So it starts with the course description, and this course description is exactly from the course description in the university course catalog. I cannot change that. It has to be exactly what that is.
Right. Those sections where I'm talking about the course objectives, that's all word for word, verbatim, exactly as required. So I'm also trying to fulfill those requirements.
Got it. Yeah. And so all these things are things I have to have the technology requirements, communication office hours, email, emergency procedures, course objectives, course learning goals. This is the font that I have to use, the type of titles I have to use because they're very aware of accessibility issues. And so you have to make sure that your syllabus is accessible. I used to have a really pretty one with pictures and all kinds of stuff in it. And then they went the accessible route and none of the screen readers couldn't use it. And so I had to go to what I call the boring bureaucratic boilerplate route. And so all of this is essentially either the language that the university recommends, or they have a template of it, and I fill in the little pieces of like it's like your name here, like you see on templates that you fill out. So it's academic dishonesty, disability support services, netiquette, all those fun things. And then we get into the same stuff like you had on your page with these are the assignments. This is how many points they will be worth, the weighted or the percentage of their grade for each one, the grading criteria, makeup policies, late work will not be accepted, all those fun things, the grading scale. Then you talk about the different types of assignments. And then I think this is the part that most students just jump straight to, which is the tentative course schedule. And they go in and see this is everything that we're going to be doing. And so being fully asynchronous, I have everything due on Sunday nights and just basically give them all the basic information that they need to be successful in the course. There's not really a whole lot of room in here for creativity, I don't think, but there's a possibility that I could take this and post it on Canvas so that I meet the university requirements, but then I can make a website version like you did that is more student friendly, is what I would call that. I do, like you said, you have your spreadsheets in there that you can update manually and it'll automatically change. Well, this is a Google Doc that I publish to the web. So I go file, share, publish to web, and that gives me an embed code. And so I can embed that on my Canvas page. And so all I have to do is make one change over here, and then it makes automatically wherever my courses in Canvas that use this syllabus will automatically update as well. So I guess the part that I hate the most about syllabi is coming down here and matching up all the dates with the weeks. And it's just that minutia stuff of putting all these things together is what drives me crazy. I guess that's what I procrastinate on, is just something as simple as changing the dates, because I've got the course pretty well standardized. So there's not much else that I have to change, but those little date things just always throw me. And then going to Canvas and updating all that stuff. It's like, I would rather go get a tooth pulled.
That's why I use Google Sheets, because then you can do, you can drag, and then the formulas, the date format it will recognize the pattern that I've put in and change all of them. I think I have to do the first three. I'm trying to remember, but because I'm using a Google Sheet, it makes it a little easier than a Google Doc. But sometimes, I don't think there's any one perfect way to approach this. think you do have to find what works, but I do think time saving things are important. Like the things that you're talking about are like the frustrations, like, oh, I have to do it here and here, the duplication.
Hmm.
So I know
Can I embed Google Sheets in a Google Doc?
that's a great question. I know for sure we can put a
Yeah,
link. I'm not sure.
I'm a super beginner at the all the Google stuff.
Yeah,
So
I
that's
switched.
something I should look up.
I'm an Apple user natively for most of my things, but anything that I need to share, I decided I'm going to use Google products because it just makes it so much easier.
Hmm.
But templates, knowing that your sections that are going to change, which ones are not going to change, makes it really easy. And then I also think it's a really great approach to go back and look at your own syllabus and ask yourself, like, do I like this? Am I clear? Am I, if whatever adjectives you're going for, do I seem approachable if that's a word you're going for? Whatever those things are, welcoming. In my case, I want to make sure that the students feel welcomed into the class. And so I will also do a welcome video for the semester that I send out to my students before class starts, just a couple of days before, a little tiny welcome video that's separate from the syllabus itself. But we do have a lot of tools that can help us create syllabi a bit faster. I think ChatGPT is one of them. I mean, most of us have some requirements and things, but we do have some leeway. Like you, I have to have certain things in there, but then I've added some flavor in there, some seasoning in there to make
Hmm.
it look a particular way because I do like for things to look pretty. And that's actually something that Norman Eng in his book, well, his book is called Teaching College, which is a great book, but I forget if it was a separate article that he wrote or if it was within the book where he talks about the syllabus and different creative approaches to the syllabus. And that to me was the first time where I was like, wait a second, I don't have to have it look like this. I could make it different.
Hmm.
So however many years ago that was, Norman really was the first point of inspiration for me. So I'll
I
share the links to
I
his
think
content
if
on
you
that.
sign up for his email list, that you get the like one page syllabus guide or something like that. That
Great.
I think that's where it comes from. It's a PDF, a free PDF download for joining his mailing list that you can then update your syllabus and make it more student friendly.
I'll be sure to
Is
link.
how I would
I'll
say
be
it.
sure to
Yeah.
link his stuff there. Thanks for mentioning that. And it's Norman Eng, ENG. So I'll definitely link his stuff. And then I just thought it would also be fun to see. I do have the paid version of ChatGPT, and I just put in the PDF of my most a recent syllabus from one of my courses from public speaking. And I said, this is the syllabus I use for my public speaking course. Can you make suggestions for improvement? So I have not read this, and some suggestions are welcome section. It's warm and engaging. Consider adding a short personal anecdote or story about a past student to make it even more relatable and motivational. I am weary to add more content to the syllabus that might make it longer, but I do think that's a good idea for me to do on the first day of class, is to talk about that. Clarity. While syllabus is comprehensive, some sections are dense. Adding bullet points or visual icons could help students quickly grasp key ideas. It includes a lot of interactive elements like game quizzes and peer feedback. Highlight these in what makes this class unique section. Oh, I like that. That's a good
Okay.
idea. I call my ChatGPT Link. So I'm just like in my head, it's like, thanks, Link. That's a good tip. So that is a good idea. I could make what makes this class unique. Then the calendar is detailed and organized, adding color codes or icons, which I actually did. I do have some little icons that represent when they have a speech or written assignment due. Rubric clarity. It might help to include a sample rubric. That's a good idea, but the rubrics are linked in Canvas. So those are
Right.
already there. Peer feedback. Encourage them to use a constructive feedback framework. Start, stop, continue to ensure helpful and actionable insights. Again, good idea, but those are things that we'll talk about when we get to those assignments.
Yeah.
Incorporating diversity. Encourage students to bring in culturally diverse topics and perspectives. Yes, I definitely always do that. Tech integration. Include a short example of how students might cite AI in their outlines. Again, these are the details that we'll talk to when it comes time to do those
Right.
things.
In the assignment itself, it's more, yeah.
Canvas resources. Provide a getting started with Canvas guide or a QR code. And I think I do always check how familiar students are with Canvas on the first day, as I don't spend time going over Canvas because most of them have been in school for a while. They know the gist. But I always offer students, if you're not familiar with Canvas, let's talk a little bit more how Canvas is used in our class specifically.
Yeah, in my Canvas, all my Canvas pages, I have the very first module is getting started with Canvas, that tutorial that's already provided. And so it's there in case they need it. Because I teach anywhere from first year freshmen straight out of high school all the way up to grad students. So the varying degrees of familiarity with learning management systems are in there. And I learned a lot about that when we switched from we called it Titanium, but it was built on Moodle. And so switching from Moodle to Canvas was a big change for our students. And so I went into a lot more detail about how to navigate Canvas. But I found that if you set your course up correctly, it's pretty easy to navigate
I think
or
so.
intuitive.
Yeah, we switched when I first started teaching. It was a little over 7 years ago. Sakai was the tool, and then the university was switching over to Canvas, and I much preferred Canvas for sure. Even though
Yeah, we had Sakai when I was in grad school.
I still want something better in terms of the making comments for grading. But anyway, let's see what else they're saying. My digital citizenship section is excellent. That felt like a tongue twister right there. Let's see, student engagement. Oh yeah, okay. This is an idea that I got from Norman, and ChatGPT picked up on this. Pre-class engagement. I do include what Norman describes as an Easter egg. In the world of education, it's an Easter egg when something hidden. At the end of the syllabus, I do prompt students. I put all these little emojis on it. I make it stand out on purpose, but it's on the last page. It says, like, if you've made it this far, please send me an email with the subject line, mission accomplished, and your favorite emoji for a chance to win a prize on the first day of class. I have had semesters where I get 0 mission accomplished emails. And I have had, and the most I ever got was 11. And my classes are 25 students. So 11 out of 25 was the highest ever. I was like, did y'all communicate about it? But in any case, I would say the average is about 3 that actually get to the last page of this. So that's why I've got those numbers of like, most students are not going to be reading this thing.
Yeah.
So let's see, accessibility and resources, resource links. Include hyperlinks, inclusive language, emergency protocols, visual aids, and final touch. All right, so overall, I felt like there are some good things that we could learn from this, and things that can help make it even a little bit better. But that's my approach. Mark, are there any quick time-saving tips or struggles that you've been through that you would give as advice for people who are just beginning to write their syllabus, create their syllabus, or take it templates from the universities to make it work?
Well, I did a couple of things when I first started. Was I got the syllabus from another instructor or the lead instructor for the course and said, okay, here's what they're doing. I'm going to mimic that essentially for the first couple of years. I did exactly what the previous instructors did until I got a feel for the class and was able to make it my own. So I guess my tip there would be, don't feel like you have to reinvent the wheel necessarily when you're coming into a class. Use your resources, other faculty members. If you're brand new faculty, ask the chair of the department to connect you with the other people that are teaching that class, bounce and get ideas off of them. What has been their experience with the course? Again, don't reinvent the wheel. Use the syllabus that's already there. Take this university template because their syllabus may have been 5 years old, and try to mesh the two together and take it from there. That's some time saving. And then the other biggest time saving tip I learned was using Google Sheets or Google Docs to embed that syllabus into my course page, because I spent way too many semesters going through 3 different Canvas pages, updating the syllabus every time I found a mistake, or actually students are good at pointing out your mistakes and going in and updating those things. And so it's much easier to update it in one place and have it auto update in all the other places. So those are my 2 tips for time saving. Don't reinvent the wheel, and use common access point types of things that you can do your updates on.
And I'm over here cracking up laughing because I'm the one that's like, I will reinvent all wheels for all things. And I just can't help it. My mind cannot turn off the ideas. I don't know what it is. I don't know, but I do agree with you. We don't have to, especially when we're starting out. And I think it is important also to get some peer feedback. I want to add that for you, like find friends like us who would look at that and offer some suggestions, offer some ideas, or in community groups, like the things that we've talked about before. Like find other people in your life that will help you look at this. But I think the core message is you don't have to go at it alone. Hopefully you have resources within the university, or you make friends with other adjunct professors or other full-time professors that be willing to give you a hand with that too. So, and also, hey, let me know. I mean, I won't offer your time, Mark. I know you're super busy too, but I will say, like, if you're watching this and you need someone to take a look at a syllabus or offer a couple ideas here and there, I'm happy to do that too. Maybe even you come on one of the episodes and we can do it together.
Yeah,
So,
and share in the chat what struggles you're having with, or share in the messages below what you found that works well, what didn't work so well, what struggles you're having, things of that nature. And maybe we'll make another video to cover some of those topics.
definitely. And my final tip is to always build in flexibility with buffer days when you're planning the semester. When you're doing your week-to-week activities and what's happening, don't just think about it from the student perspective. Think about it from your perspective too. Like, look at your calendar side by side and say, this week is grading week. I shouldn't, and I'm talking to myself here, everybody, I shouldn't commit to 6 different things that week because I'm going to be consumed with grading. So that is one big takeaway that I learned. It only took me 7 years to get it in my brain that I need to do this. So, it's really important to build in buffer time and look at the calendar, look at your calendar and the assignments calendar for giving yourself enough time for grading.
Yeah, I ended up doing the same thing. I kept wondering, why is it every semester around midterm time, I'm so stressed out because I got so many assignments to grade. And I started looking at my classes and saying, okay, be smart about this and structure, when papers are due, along with your course objectives and things, so you can get it in there where it gives me time to be able to get students' work graded and back to them in a timely manner, instead of having, like, I have 5 sections of different classes usually. And so being able to get that back to them in time and is very important to give them the proper feedback. And so structure your classes so that not everything is due at the same time.
Absolutely. Mark, thank you as always for being here with me.
My
It's
pleasure.
so much more fun to do this and have you to talk to than not having you here. So thank you. I appreciate your time. And also, I really love that 2 different approaches, 2 different experiences, different classes, and different ways that we go about it, so that we get to show some of that. And we'll be sure to share additional resources, especially pointing to Norman's content, which might give you some really great ideas. So Mark, thank you very much.
Fantastic.
Next up, a little summary, a little recap here. So I want to reiterate how important it is to create a syllabus that is clear and that will offer you a smooth semester. Remember to add in those elements, full course menu style. Think about an appetizer, the main dishes, adding your personality, which is the seasoning, a little something sweet to show the students the value that they're going to be getting out of the course as well, and helping them stay hydrated with supports, aka a drink, right, that you would get at a restaurant. So for myself, I am very excited. I feel so good to be able to put that check mark when those syllabi are finished and submitted. Big sigh of relief on my end. So I'm sure that you can relate to that, and give yourself that time and that flexibility. Thank you so much for watching. I wish you all the best as you prepare your syllabus. Please do share in the comments, what are your successes? What are some of your struggles when it comes to creating your syllabus? And let me know how you make out with your own syllabi this semester. In the meantime, keep learning, inspiring, and teaching with love. I'll see you next time.